You know what separates a man who walks into a room and owns it from the guy who blends into the wallpaper? 6 inches? No. A designer logo? Absolutely not. It is something far more powerful, something that happens before he even gets dressed in the morning. The difference lives in what he does when nobody is watching, when the boardroom doors are closed, when he is alone with his reflection at 6 a.m. And here is the brutal truth most men will never accept. The middle class is comfortable being average. They are content with good enough, but you are watching this because something inside you refuses to settle. Because you understand that elegance is not about the price tag on your suit. It is about the price you are willing to pay in discipline. In 2025, the most successful men have shifted away from flashy designer logos and moved toward refined craftsmanship and quiet confidence. Look at what is happening in luxury menswear right now. The brands leading the conversation like Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli and The Row have defined what quiet luxury means for men, focusing on fabric that speaks for itself rather than logos that scream for attention. These men understand something critical. True power whispers. It does not shout. Let me paint you a picture. Walk into any expensive restaurant in Manhattan, the guy wearing the logo-covered outfit trying to prove he has money? Nobody remembers him. But the man in the perfectly tailored navy suit with the clean lines and impeccable posture, everyone notices, everyone respects. Why? Because he is not trying to impress you. He already impressed himself this morning when he executed his routine with military precision. The habits I'm about to share with you are not rocket science. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages every single day, not because someone told him to, because he understands that knowledge compounds like interest in a bank account. Legendary investor Warren Buffett is a voracious reader, and like many other successful people, he demonstrates that continuous learning is an essential part of achievement and growth. While your competition is scrolling through social media for the 3rd hour today, he is absorbing information that will make him millions tomorrow. That is not luck. That is a habit. That is a choice. Here is what frustrates me about most men today. They want the shortcut. They want the secret. They want me to tell them which cologne to buy or which watch to wear, and magically they will transform into a powerful man. But power does not work that way. Elegance does not work that way. Success absolutely does not work that way. You cannot buy respect. You cannot purchase discipline. You cannot download confidence from an app store. What you can do is adopt the 6 habits that separate the top 1% from everyone else. These are not theoretical concepts from some motivational speaker who has never built anything real. These are proven behaviors backed by research, practiced by the most successful men on the planet, and available to any man willing to do the work. The question is not whether these habits will transform your life. They will. The question is whether you have what it takes to implement them consistently when nobody is watching, when nobody is cheering, when nobody cares except you. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you something. Are you serious about transforming your elegance into real power and success? If you are nodding your head right now, then hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because the content on this channel is not for passive consumers. It is for men who take action, men who understand that learning without implementation is just entertainment. And if you are getting value from this video, show me by hitting that like button. It tells the algorithm to share this with more men who refuse to be mediocre. Habit 1. Intellectual superiority through strategic consumption. Let me tell you what most men get completely wrong about reading and learning. They think reading a business book once a year makes them educated. They think listening to a podcast during their commute makes them intellectually superior. They think watching a few YouTube videos makes them informed. And then they wonder why they are not advancing in their careers, why they cannot hold an interesting conversation at a dinner party, why they feel intellectually empty despite consuming content constantly. Warren Buffett reads as much as 500 pages a day because the more information he has, the easier it is to make the right decisions. Think about that for a second. 500 pages every single day. While you are checking Instagram for the 15th time, he is building knowledge that translates directly into billions of dollars. Bill Gates reads a book a week, and Mark Zuckerberg reads every fortnight. Even Elon Musk is committed to reading. These are not accidents. These are intentional choices made by men who understand that your mind is either growing or dying. There is no middle ground. But here is what they do not tell you in those feel-good productivity articles. It is not just about reading anything. It is about strategic consumption. You need to curate what enters your brain with the same precision a Michelin-starred chef curates his menu. Random content consumption is like eating at a buffet every day. Sure, you are full, but you are not nourished. Your mind needs specific nutrients: business strategy, financial literacy, human psychology, communication skills, cultural knowledge, history, philosophy. These build the foundation of a powerful mind. Start your morning with 30 minutes of focused reading before you check your phone. I do not care if you are reading Marcus Aurelius, a biography of someone you admire, or the latest research on behavioral economics. What matters is you are feeding your brain high-quality information before the world dumps its garbage into your consciousness. Your morning reading session is sacred. It is non-negotiable. It is the difference between leading the conversation and following it. Then during your commute, during your workout, during your daily activities, layer in podcasts and audiobooks, but not mindless entertainment disguised as education. I am talking about content that challenges your thinking, that introduces you to ideas outside your bubble. That makes you uncomfortable because it forces you to examine your beliefs. Whether you are reading non-fiction to develop new skills, or research topics that interest you, or reading fiction to enjoy the beauty and complexity of language and the human experience, reading is a key habit to develop in your quest for success. Discomfort in learning is growth happening in real time. Here is a practical framework. Dedicate your reading to 3 categories every week. 1/3 business and strategy to sharpen your professional edge. 1/3 human behavior and psychology to understand how to influence and connect. 1/3 history and philosophy to develop depth and perspective. This combination creates a mental arsenal that most men will never possess. When you walk into a room, you will not just look different. You will think different, speak different, carry yourself different, because your mind is operating at a higher frequency than everyone else around you. And stop lying to yourself about not having time. You have time. You are just spending it on garbage. The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. Imagine if you redirected just half of that time to strategic learning. In 1 year, you would consume over 60 books. In 5 years, over 300 books. Do you understand how far ahead that would put you? How much more valuable you would become? How many more opportunities would open up because you have knowledge that others do not possess? Intellectual superiority is not about being smarter than everyone else. It is about being more prepared, more informed, more capable of connecting dots that others cannot even see. How many conversations have you had where you felt like you had nothing interesting to contribute? Where someone mentioned a topic and you just nodded along because you knew nothing about it? That stops now. With this habit, you become the most interesting man in every room you enter. Not because you are trying to show off, but because you have cultivated a mind worth listening to. And trust me, people notice. Especially the people who matter, the ones writing the checks, the ones offering the opportunities, the ones who can change your life with a single introduction. Habit 2, wardrobe management. As strategic investment. Most men treat their wardrobe like a dumping ground. They buy clothes randomly, wear them until they fall apart, and then wonder why they never look put together. They think fashion is superficial. They think caring about their clothes makes them vain. And then they show up to important meetings looking like they just rolled out of bed, and they cannot figure out why nobody takes them seriously. Let me be direct with you. Your appearance is your first impression, your only impression sometimes, and you never get a second chance at it. The modern status symbol man has a wardrobe that is not built on trends, but curated with care, chosen with intention rather than impulse. His clothes fit perfectly, a sign of tailored precision. All well-dressed men keep it simple and rely on basic uniforms without worrying about making a statement if that is not their style. They understand something most men miss entirely. Your wardrobe is not an expense. It is an investment in how the world perceives you and how you perceive yourself. But buying quality pieces is only step one. The real game changer is maintenance. Caring for your clothing could be the difference between subpar and outstanding style, and taking care of a garment is worth it in a world of disposability. Every Sunday evening, I want you to dedicate 1 hour to wardrobe maintenance. This is not optional. This is mandatory for any man who wants to be taken seriously. Here is exactly what that hour looks like. First, you organize your closet, not just straightening things. I mean strategic organization. Try to think of yourself as a team coach when it comes to your wardrobe. Rotating your clothing and shoes is key, especially if you have to wear a suit every day for work. This keeps your look fresh and reduces strain on individual pieces by allowing time between each wear, which also increases their lifespan. Separate your clothes by category and color, your suits together, your dress shirts together, your casual wear together. This saves you time in the morning and ensures you're not wearing the same rotation of 5 items because they are the first things you see. Next, you inspect every garment. Look for loose buttons, check for small stains, search for any minor damage that can become major if ignored. Regularly inspect your clothing for signs of wear and tear, replace missing buttons, mend small holes, and address any issues promptly to prevent them from turning into major problems. Most men ignore these details until it is too late. Until that button pops off during an important presentation, until that small stain becomes permanent, until that tiny tear becomes a gaping hole. You are not most men. You handle problems when they are small and cheap to fix. Then you steam or iron your clothes for the upcoming week. The basic setup, a simple steam iron and an ironing table, is the same that it has always been. And no man who cares about his clothes should go without these crucial wardrobe pieces. Yes, this takes time. Yes, it would be easier to just grab a wrinkled shirt and hope nobody notices. But people notice. They always notice. A man in a crisp, perfectly pressed shirt commands respect. A man in a wrinkled mess gets ignored. Which one do you want to be? Use a fabric shaver to remove all the fuzz that builds up over time on your clothing. This one tool makes a dramatic difference in how your clothes look. That sweater that looked old and tired? Run a fabric shaver over it and suddenly it looks new again. That blazer with the pilled elbows, 5 minutes with a fabric shaver, and it is restored. These small details separate elegant men from everyone else. And your shoes. Shoes can be some of the most expensive items in your wardrobe, and a quality pair can last you for 10 or more years if they are well cared for. Polish them weekly. Use shoe trees to maintain their shape. Shoe trees, despite the odd-sounding name, are wooden or plastic forms shaped like feet that absorb moisture from leather and soles and maintain the shape of the shoe that typically will be lost over years of wear without proper maintenance. Rotate your shoes so no pair is worn 2 days in a row. These simple steps will make a $300 pair of shoes last 10 years instead of 3. That is the definition of smart investment. High-quality hangers are a one-time investment that will serve your wardrobe well over time. Stop using those wire hangers from the dry cleaner. Stop letting your suits lose their shape on cheap plastic. Invest in wooden hangers that maintain structure and allow your clothes to breathe. Suits and shirts should always be hung on natural wood hangers, which will help maintain shape, relax any creases that have developed, and wick away moisture soaked up during the day. This one change will extend the life of your wardrobe by years. Properly caring for your wardrobe does not end at what you do in your clothes, but what you do with them once out. Here is the brutal reality. That $2,000 suit you are wearing. If you treat it like garbage, it will look like a $200 suit in 6 months. But that $500 suit you maintain religiously, it will look like a $2,000 suit for 5 years. See the difference? Elegance is not about how much you spend. It is about how you care for what you own. Every time you invest an hour in wardrobe maintenance, you are investing in how seriously people take you, in how confident you feel, in how powerful you appear. This is not vanity. This is strategic personal branding. And the men who understand this, they are the ones getting promoted, getting the opportunities, getting the respect, because they understand that details matter. And if you cannot take care of your clothes, why would anyone trust you to take care of important responsibilities? Habit 3. Physical dominance through posture and mobility. Walk into any corporate office and watch how men move. Shoulders rolled forward, heads jutting out, backs hunched over like question marks. They look defeated before they even open their mouths. They look weak. They look tired. They look like men who have given up on their bodies. And then they wonder why nobody listens when they speak, why their ideas get dismissed, why they cannot command a room. Your posture tells a story before you say a single word. Critical analysis is man's true best friend, and taking a little break from the intense oversensory world we live in is an essential habit. But before we can think clearly, we need to feel physically capable. Though exercise may seem ancillary to productivity, a consistent exercise routine is one of the common shared habits of highly effective people. Just 30 minutes of exercise a day can make a huge difference in your overall physical and mental health, which is a crucial stepping stone to wider success. But I'm not just talking about hitting the gym and mindlessly lifting weights. I'm talking about intentional mobility work that transforms how you carry yourself. Most men over 30 have the mobility of an 80-year-old. They cannot touch their toes. They cannot sit in a deep squat. They cannot rotate their thoracic spine. They are walking around in bodies that are slowly calcifying into statues of pain and limitation. And this shows up in everything they do, in how they walk, in how they sit, in how they present themselves. Your body is either an asset or a liability. Right now, for most men, it is a liability. Here is your non-negotiable daily practice. 15 minutes of targeted mobility work every single morning. Not stretching, mobility work. There is a difference. Stretching is passive. Mobility is active. It teaches your body to move through full ranges of motion with control and strength. Building a daily habit of stretching and doing mobility work, especially if you are over the age of 30, helps improve posture significantly. Start with thoracic spine extensions using a foam roller. These extensions really help improve mobility in the middle back, reduce hunching from sitting at a desk all day, and help alleviate strain on your neck and shoulders. This one movement alone will transform your posture. That hunched-over desk worker look, gone. Replaced by an upright, confident stance that makes you look 6 inches taller and 20 pounds lighter. Your chest opens up. Your shoulders pull back. You look like a man who is ready to handle whatever comes his way. Next, work on your hip mobility with couch stretches and deep squat holds. Modern men have the tightest hips in human history because we sit all day. This creates a forward pelvic tilt that makes you look weak and defeated even when you are standing still. 20 minutes of daily hip mobility work will correct this completely. You will stand taller, move better, feel stronger, And people will notice the difference even if they cannot articulate what changed. Do not skip hamstring and lower back work. Touch your toes, or at least work toward touching your toes. A man who cannot bend forward without looking like he is going to snap in half looks fragile, weak, limited. Mobility exercises like standing toe touches for the lower back can dramatically improve flexibility, and sitting in a squat is great for the hips and lower back. You want to move like a man who is physically capable, who can handle himself in any situation, who does not need to make excuses about his body holding him back. Here is what happens when you commit to this habit. Within 2 weeks, you will move differently. You will notice it when you walk into a room. Within a month, other people will notice. They will not know what changed, but they will sense that you carry yourself with more confidence, more power, more presence. If you are hunched over all the time, that does not signify a confident man. Instead, develop a daily habit of stretching and mobility work. Within 3 months, your entire physical identity will have transformed. You will look like a different person in the same body. And the gym. I do not care if you hate working out. I do not care if you would rather do anything else. A Harvard Business Review study found that people whose performance peaks in the morning are better positioned for career success, and regular physical activity is crucial for maintaining physical and mental health. You need to move your body with intensity at least 4 times per week, not because society tells you to, not because you want to look good on the beach, because physical strength creates mental strength. Because pushing through a hard workout teaches you that you can push through hard situations in life. Because a man who cannot control his body cannot control his life. Stop making excuses. Stop saying you do not have time. You have time. You are just choosing to spend it on things that do not matter. 30 minutes of mobility work in the morning, 45 minutes of strength training 4 times per week. That is 5 hours per week total. You spend more time than that scrolling through your phone. The difference is one activity makes you stronger, more confident, more capable. The other makes you weaker, more distracted, more mediocre. Choose accordingly. Your physical presence is your first impression. Before you speak, before you shake hands, before you present your ideas, people are judging you based on how you carry yourself. A man with excellent posture and fluid movement commands respect automatically. A man who shuffles into a room looking like his body hurts just existing. Nobody takes him seriously. Which one are you going to be? Habit 4. Behavioral excellence through refined manners. Let me tell you about a business dinner I attended last year. 20 people around the table, all successful, all wealthy, all accomplished, but only 3 of them had any idea how to behave in that environment. The rest, they were loud, interrupting, talking with their mouths full, on their phones, telling inappropriate jokes, making others uncomfortable. And you know what happened? Those 3 men with impeccable manners walked away with all the opportunities, all the introductions, all the respect, because manners are not about being proper. They are about making others comfortable and showing respect. Begin with the basics like please and thank you, pardon me, and remember people's names. If you use a name twice, you will remember it. This seems so simple that most men ignore it. But watch what happens when you consistently use someone's name in conversation. They feel seen, valued, important, and people remember the men who made them feel that way. I literally keep notes on my phone about people I meet because remembering details about someone's life is one of the most powerful tools in building relationships. Here is a scenario that drives me insane. You are with a friend and you run into someone you know. What do most men do? They start talking to that person and completely ignore their friend. If you are with a friend and you run into someone that you know, introduce that person to your friend and say how you know them. This simple act shows respect to everyone involved. It makes your friend feel included. It makes the other person feel welcomed. It demonstrates social intelligence. Yet 90% of men fail this basic test every single time. And punctuality. Be punctual and show up on time. Make an effort to show up on time, and do not make others wait for you. When you are late, you are saying that your time is more valuable than theirs, that they do not matter enough for you to plan properly, that you cannot manage your own life. I do not care how bad traffic is. I do not care what emergency came up. Leave earlier. Plan better. Respect other people's time. The most successful men I know are obsessively punctual because they understand that reliability is a form of respect. Here is what refined manners really communicate. They communicate that you are in control, that you think about others, that you can navigate complex social situations with grace, that you are safe to be around, that you will not embarrass yourself or others. These are the qualities that open doors, that get you invited to important events, that make influential people want to associate with you. Because elegance is not just about how you look, it is about how you make others feel. Watch how you eat. Chew with your mouth closed. Put your phone away during meals. Do not dominate conversations. Ask questions and actually listen to the answers. Make eye contact when someone is speaking to you. These micro behaviors add up to create an impression of refinement that most men will never achieve, because most men are too self-absorbed to consider how their behavior affects others. And when you meet someone new, make them feel like they are the only person in the room. Not in a fake way, in a genuine way. Give them your full attention. Remember what they tell you. Follow up on things they mentioned. This is how you build a network of people who want to help you succeed, because you made them feel valued, you made them feel important, you made them feel seen. And people never forget how you made them feel. Refined manners are the ultimate form of power. They allow you to move effortlessly through any social situation, from a black tie gala to a casual lunch to a high-stakes business meeting. You always know what to do, how to act, what to say. And this confidence is magnetic. People want to be around someone who makes social situations easier, not harder. Someone who elevates the room instead of dragging it down. Be that man. Habit 5. Aesthetic mastery through cultural sophistication. Most men limit themselves to whatever entertainment is easiest to consume. They listen to the same 10 songs on repeat. They watch whatever Netflix algorithm suggests. They read nothing more challenging than social media captions, and then they wonder why they feel intellectually empty, why they have nothing interesting to discuss, why they cannot connect with sophisticated people. Your cultural diet shapes your mind just as much as your food diet shapes your body, and most men are consuming the equivalent of fast food 24 hours a day. Grooming is now part of a larger lifestyle shift, with men integrating fitness, fashion, and self-care into their routines, and grooming choices are influencing overall style and wardrobe preferences. But it goes deeper than that. The content you consume shapes who you become. The music you listen to influences your mood, your energy, your thoughts. The art you expose yourself to expands your perspective. The culture you engage with determines the depth of conversations you can have. Let me be clear. I am not saying you have to stop listening to music you enjoy. I am not saying you need to become some pretentious art snob who only appreciates things nobody has heard of. What I am saying is you need to expand your cultural palette. You need to expose yourself to things that challenge you, that make you think, that add layers of sophistication to your personality. Start with classical music and jazz, not because it makes you better than anyone else, but because it trains your brain differently. Self-care is being linked to mental well-being, with grooming rituals becoming an essential part of stress management. Classical music and jazz do the same thing for your mind. They create space for deep thought. They reduce stress. They enhance focus. Put on a Bach cello suite while you work and watch your productivity increase. Listen to Miles Davis while you read and notice how your comprehension improves. But do not just listen at home. Experience it live. One of the best things to do is to go to the symphony, because it is truly a magical experience to hear that kind of music live, especially if you do some research in advance so you know a little bit about the pieces you are listening to. This is where sophistication lives. In the concert halls, the museums, the theaters, the opera houses. These are the places where elegant men spend their time, where important conversations happen, where deals get made, where relationships form. Here is what most men do not understand. When you can discuss art, music, theater, literature at a sophisticated level, you immediately separate yourself from 99% of the population. You become interesting, valuable, worth knowing, because you have depth, you have perspective, you have knowledge that others do not possess. This is social currency at the highest level. Start small. Once a month, attend a cultural event, a symphony performance, an art gallery opening, a theater production, a poetry reading. It does not matter what it is. What matters is you are exposing yourself to excellence, to beauty, to sophistication. And you are training your brain to appreciate things beyond surface-level entertainment. Over time, this transforms how you see the world, how you think, how you communicate, how you connect with others, and be intentional about what you consume daily. That does not mean you need to give up everything you enjoy. It means being conscious of balance. If you listen to 10 songs today, make 2 of them something that challenges you musically. If you watch 3 hours of television, dedicate 30 minutes to a documentary that teaches you something new. If you read for pleasure, occasionally choose literature that makes you work for it instead of easy consumption. Grooming and mental health are connected, with self-care being linked to mental well-being and grooming rituals becoming an essential part of stress management. The same is true for cultural consumption. What you feed your mind determines your mental state. Garbage in, garbage out. Excellence in, excellence out. You want to be an elegant man? Start consuming culture like an elegant man. Start appreciating beauty, complexity, depth. Start expanding beyond what is comfortable and easy. When you walk into a room full of successful, sophisticated people, you want to be able to participate in any conversation. Whether someone mentions a recent art exhibition, a classical composer, a philosophical concept, or a historical event. You want to be able to contribute, to connect, to demonstrate that you are operating at their level. This does not happen by accident. It happens through intentional exposure to culture and sophistication. Habit 6. Personal excellence through impeccable grooming. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and felt genuinely proud of how you presented yourself? Not just acceptable, not just good enough, but genuinely proud. For most men, the answer is never, because they treat grooming like a chore, something to rush through, something that does not matter. And then they show up to important moments in their lives looking like they do not care about themselves. And if you do not care about yourself, why would anyone else care about you? In 2025, gym goals and grooming routines can coexist, and the idea that self-care is just for women is both outdated and untrue. Interest in personal care among younger male consumers has grown year on year, with guys confidently making space for skincare in their routines. This is not about vanity. This is about respect for yourself and for everyone who has to look at you. Your grooming routine is your daily declaration that you have standards, that you take yourself seriously, that you are worth the effort. Here is your non-negotiable daily grooming protocol. Every single morning, you wash your face with a proper facial cleanser. For a simple, effective routine, you only need 3 products: a facial cleanser to remove dirt, oil, and pollutants from the skin, a face scrub to gently remove rough skin and dead skin cells, and a natural face moisturizer that keeps your skin hydrated and smooths fine lines and wrinkles. Not the same bar of soap you use on your body. An actual facial cleanser designed for your skin type. Then you moisturize. Then you apply sunscreen. Yes, every single day, even when it is cloudy, even in winter. UV damage is cumulative, and it makes you look 10 years older than you are. Your facial hair needs attention every single day. Whether you maintain a beard or clean shave, regular grooming of your facial hair is essential. If you wear a beard, you trim it weekly. You use beard oil daily. You brush it. You maintain clean lines. A well-groomed beard communicates discipline and attention to detail. A scraggly, unkempt beard communicates that you have given up. If you clean shave, you do it properly, with preparation, with the right tools, with care, not rushing through it with a disposable razor and no thought to technique. A close, comfortable shave is a cornerstone of any grooming routine, and proper prep includes applying a warm towel to your face before shaving. While full beards are not disappearing, the way men maintain them is changing. Precision trimming is now focused on creating natural shapes and texture rather than hard lines. Your grooming should look effortless, but that effortlessness requires daily effort. That is the paradox most men never understand. Your hair. The right cut varies based on your face shape and preferences, and once you find the perfect cut, pencil in trims every 4 to 6 weeks to maintain your style. Do not wait until you look like you belong in a wilderness survival show. Book regular haircuts. Keep your style maintained. Style your hair every morning. I do not care if you use pomade, clay, paste, or just quality oil. What matters is your hair looks intentional, controlled, professional, not like you rolled out of bed and hoped for the best, and the details that most men completely ignore. Your hands and nails play a big role in your overall appearance, from a handshake to subtle gestures. Trim your nails weekly. Clean under them. Moisturize your hands. Nothing screams lack of self-respect like dirty, ragged fingernails. Your eyebrows, trim them. Nothing extreme, just clean them up. Remove the stragglers. Create definition. 2 minutes with a small trimmer once a week makes a massive difference. Grooming routines might seem like small daily habits, but they impact how men see themselves. With more choices, better tools, and elevated expectations, grooming has become a form of self-care. There is something powerful about a clean shave done right. Many men report feeling sharper and more confident after grooming. This is not just vanity, it is about mindset. A clean face or fresh trim can set the tone for a big meeting, date night, or everyday motivation. In 2025, grooming is as much mental as it is physical.